What's up, y'all? So I'm on my way to work because, we got to do that. Adulting sucks. So I was a content creator for MMOs, primarily ESO, Elder Scrolls Online. I used to be an alpha tester for companies. So some devs would know me or something and then get a hold of me. Hey, Mystic, do you want to go ahead and test our new MMO? I actually own an IP, but it was never developed. And so the biggest thing about it was I always default going back to DC Universe Online, DCUO. And DC's cool. It's really a cool game because it's laid back. It should be laid back anyways. I mean, I played the game at launch because I used to have an SOE account when SOE had the company. I actually was one of the close testers for the GCW before it all. Me and John Smeedley got into it. He used to be the CEO of the company before Daybreak. It sold off and everything, all the assets got sold off. And because we got into it about the GCW, and I couldn't talk about it until whatever because I was on a NDA. And but anywho, I've tested for a lot of companies, played a lot of MMOs. I used to be endgame in a lot of MMOs. DC, at one time I was an endgame player, long time ago. Now, if I feel like it, I do it. If not, I just play it for whatever. I have multiple 200 arts, and I just play for fun. And I think the problem of it is the community is really toxic, and the content creators are very toxic. And they shouldn't even be, because they can't count. Majority of them are ignorant. For example, this content creator posted a video exposing LV because LV had said Omega was ninja nerfed, and it wasn't. And so a lot of content creators are now riding on him because of that statement. And one content creator actually was in a run with him, tried to expose him, but he ended up exposing himself because LV beat him in overall damage. Now this content creator beat him in boss damage, but overall damage, when you add up the numbers, LV still came out on top. And I was like, dude, you exposed yourself. You didn't expose shit. And then everybody's talking about water DPS. Hey, dudes, here's an idea. Learn your rotation. Stop crutching on bullshit. I've always heard, this power set's meta, that, and then all of a sudden it changes because somebody finds out something different, and nothing changed about the class, just somebody learned something, and now the meta, the most effective tactic available, shifted because they discovered something. Well, the problem was there was never a change in functionality. The problem was you guys were too ignorant to pay attention to begin with. Therein lies your problem. So I'm just like, this community doesn't even deserve. Like, one guy commented defending this content creator because I pointed it out, and then he used the word parser. I was like, damn, your metric system is not a parser. I had this discussion with the SO community when they would use the word best in slot. I'm like, you guys understand a best in slot item is fixed. It's why it's called best in slot, because it has a fixed stat that can't be matched or replicated in any form. So when you're referencing best in slot, it's not applicable due to the variables in which your gear configures your stat sheet. Fucking idiots. I'm sorry, excuse my language. I'm always dealing with morons. Because a parser is always usually an add-on metric that breaks down as you're playing in a live action combat scenario. And DC does not have that. DC has target dummies in which you can use the metrics to determine rotation and damage. But even if you were to get a group, apply the buffs and debuffs and everything, the target dummy doesn't do anything. It just sits there. So the different variables don't apply because you can't truly parse these things in order to find the consistency. So you don't have a parser, you have a metric system. It's not a parser. So I just love it. I literally just love people talking dumb shit. It's just like, you guys understand. Now, I have no respect for majority of these content creators because majority of them were art swapping and they couldn't even count. Because the reason why, and I had mentioned it prior, the game only needed 2 swaps to be optimal. Anything more than 2 swaps, you were losing DPS due to the stat adjustment for your swapping, right? Because your arts are stat sticks. So when you drop an art, you drop the stat. So in procs that are arts that are based on proc, scaled from stat. So a lot of these scrubs were losing DPS when they were swapping more than 2 and not understanding their stat adjustments. That's why people were getting different results. There was no consistency because they literally were clueless. And I was like, wow, I can't even respect you guys. Not whatsoever. I have no then people are like, well, we'll just post some game footage. First off, I'm retired, right? I'm 50 years old. I'm retired from content creating. I might upload something in the future just to do it, but these videos just prove a point about the thing that's really stopping DC from, there's multiple things. First off, the devs have been doing a great job, but it still seems like when you're doing the storyline, for example, your 4-man shouldn't be your raid, a mini version of your raid, your alert. Your alert should be different from the raid, right? And so it becomes monotonous, right? It's repetitive, very repetitive. Most MMOs are, but when you see the same thing going in and out, it gets kind of like, But, I mean, I think every content creator, I always told my viewers, don't believe what I say, do it for yourself. I'm just trying to give you guys an insight into how to view this when you're building something. When you're building, your build, when you're making your build, pay attention to the numbers. Numbers matter. Math matters. And, I have multiple builds on each character. I have 20 characters. Like I said, I enjoy the game as a hobby. But like I said, the community, just me doing this, there'll be some commentary, I imagine, because that's what ESO players used to do. The end game players in ESO would come in at me, and I got that. Someone's like, "Oh, do a video." I'm like, guys, you guys are beneath me. Do you understand that? Like, I had more views on ESO than you guys have in one video. How? What? Why should I even care? I'm just giving you guys insight and giving you, like, this community does not understand diminishing marginal returns. You will see them stack SP without understanding the diminishing marginal returns. I'm like, shit. And I'm just saying, these guys are mathematically challenged. They are. I really hate putting it out there like that, but they are mathematically challenged. They don't even understand their procs how their procs are scaling, what factors. I see tanks running flash. I was like, oh shit, debuffs matter. I'm over it. I'm just done, they definitely aren't meta, not by a long shot. Majority of you, if you watch any DC, I usually go in just messing around, and I'll beat players and they're pissed, and I'll be under level, no OP items. I just know the math and I got my rotations locked in. If I can clip on some, I will. If not, I'm not too hemmed up about it. I'm not in there trying to be competitive, but I'll end up topping out a lot of times, and then I butt hurt people, and then they're like, oh, and I'm like, keep trying, just keep working on it. You guys suck. And I'll tell you why you suck. You suck because you watch these content creators. They suck. They're trash. They're 100% garbage. They have, OP items and maxed out arts and maxed out allies. It doesn't, you can, if you just do that, like this one dude who puts out healing builds, he's running nothing but SP generator. And I play DPS. I play all roles. I mainly heal and DPS. I troll and I'll tank once in a while. But what they don't understand as a healer, sometimes I'm sitting on cooldown. If I do what he's recommending, I'm sitting on CD. So why am I using all that supercharger generator when I'm still running? When I'm still waiting to come off cooldown? They're idiots. They really are. I'm not making it up. I'm not whatsoever. These guys can't count. They are dipshits. Like the new Blue Lantern augment. Some dude who's like one of the build things didn't even put the fucking shield on to increase DPS, like the might buff. I'm like, oh my god. Like, you're giving up a might stack. Don't even get me started on Tet and Dillasteel and Starheart. These guys are completely like lost or cog. They're lost. They're like, well, health. Tet is scalable from health, meaning every DLC that increases your health, the might buff from that scales too. I promise you. they're not there. So yeah, take it for what it's worth. They're trash. 100. They can't count. They're trash. And I don't even need to make a video to point these things out. I don't need to upload one video to point out the stupidity and the toxicity of this community. Plain and simple. Have a nice day.